Hello, this is Manish Patel from Ichimoku Today is February 10th, 2013. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the futures market, where we cover commodity futures, oil, natural gas, corn, lumber, cotton, you name it. Okay, first to begin, this is our normal disclaimer. This is for education use only. All charts today you're going to see are from TradeStation. Here are my contact details here. You can email me here at info@eiicapital.com, or you could basically go to our website, ichimokutrade.com, access any of our free videos or multiple time frame email alerts, or so forth. Or you could contact us at any of the office locations here. Okay, so let's go and begin. And let's go straight to TradeStation. And we're going to start covering some of the future products here. So the very first one we're going to cover here is you're going to see here, put my mouse over it, didn't even come up, is soybean oil. If you look at soybean oil, it's basically between a support resistance right now. It is bearish, but it's got to break the support of 50.76. If it does, then it has a potential going down to about 48. Resistance on this one is going to be about 53.28. Okay, corn. If you look at corn is stuck between support resistances too. It's basically, the resistance is about 761. Support is going to be roughly around about 700 or so, roughly around there. So that's stuck there too. Crude oil futures. If you look here, crude oil is just still hanging around here. Started a bearish trend here on the daily time frame. On the weekly time frame, it's starting to go down. It's starting to possibly set up to go down lower. Actually, you know what? This is not crude oil. This is cocoa. Sorry. Cocoa is still bearish trending on the daily time frame. It's kind of held its resistance at 22.99. Support on this one is going to be roughly about, I would say, about 2200 on this one. I would keep an eye on this one because the more this thing just sits there and goes sideways, this is setting up to go bearish, to possibly retest that low of 2100 and possibly go lower. So I definitely keep an eye on that one. Crude oil, there we go. Now we're at crude oil. Crude oil basically bounced off its resistance at 98. Its support is going to be about 93.54 going forward. The short-term support is going to be roughly about 95.10. But hopefully it'll sit there and pull back to at least 93.54. At that point it'll hold and then make a move to sit there and break 98, which can sit there and start a long-term trend to the bullish side. Cotton you could see here, it's a bullish trend on the daily time frame. You could see here it's popped itself out of the cloud. Kind of met resistance roughly around 84.50 is the resistance. Support on this one. A minor one's going to be about 78.86, and the major one's going to be about 76.52 moving forward. Ideally, would like this thing to sit there and pull back to about 78.86 and hold. If it does, then we could sit there and look at a possibly going in long for a bullish trend to sit there and break the resistance at 82.03, and then possibly break the resistance higher and break 85 and start a long-term trend to the top side. It's on the ES. We're going to come back to those. The dollar, if you look at the dollar here, it's just really doing nothing here. If you look at the weekly time frame, you could see here is basically stuck between support resistance right now. Major resistance is going to be about 81. Support is basically going to be 79. So it's ranging between those two values. Until it breaks that, it's really nothing to talk about at all. Feeder cattle here, if you look here, this is basically setting up to go down. All it has to do is now start there and break the support roughly right there. Let's just mark it off so you can kind of see exactly where it's at, 142.52. If it breaks that, then basically feeder cattle is going to go lower. Support resistance on this one's going to be about 150.52. Major resistance is going to be about 159. 5-year Treasury notes. As you could see here, this thing's just consolidating here at the top. Let's go largest guy here. Nothing really going on at all. It's not even worth talking about. Daily time frame looks like it's a bearish trend here. It's at a major resistance right now. Support on this one, a minor one's going to be about 123.25 moving forward. This is heating oil. You can see heating oil here. Looks like it's trying to break out here. You can see this big long movement here on the daily time frame. You really need a pullback right now. Reason why is if you look, it got to this resistance and got to that one. So we're kind of at the top. We quite haven't got to the major resistance roughly here about 3.30, but once we break that one, then the next one's going to be at 3.400 and so forth going up. But the key here is that if we break these resistances right here, this thing can start a long-term trend to the top side, go back up here into the 4.0 levels, which can be interesting to see. So definitely keep an eye on that one moving forward. But we definitely need a pullback before we could even look at this. But this is getting to the top of its consolidation range right now. Some pullback levels you could look for are going to be basically 3.089 is going to be one level, and the next level is going to be about 3.1139. Coffee. If you look at coffee, still continuing its journey downwards. You could see here it's at a minor support level here, which is right there, but this is continuing to be a bearish trend to the downside on the weekly time frame. Lumber, not really much going on here, trying to retest this high up there around 400. That's going to be its resistance. Support is going to be basically 367 moving forward. Live cattle here, really not doing anything at all. It's in a basically consolidation range. It's at the support level right now, so it's going to be interesting to see if it can break the support level. If it does, it's going to sit there and possibly start a trend to the downside, but it's got a lot of supports here, roughly around here. Let me change my mouse. Roughly around here. Then you got another one right here. So this thing's got a lot to break to start a bearish trend to the downside. But if you look here on the daily time frame, it's trying to set up to go down. All it has to do is break this little pivot low here. If it does, it's going to start a trend to the downside. I'll definitely keep on that one, live cattle to the lower time frames, and just keep an eye on that one and trade that one pullbacks. Lean hogs, nothing really to talk about here. This thing's just consolidating really nasty. So I'm just going to move on. Natural gas here. Slowly, this thing, a lot of people don't want to believe it, but because a lot of people are bullish. But slowly, this thing is trickling down here. Held a major resistance at 3.626. And it looks like it's trying to sit there and head down to this pivot low there, which is roughly about little, I would say, let's just say a 3 is the support level. So it looks like it's totally trying to trickle down there. So definitely keep an eye on natural gas to go hit the lows and maybe retest the lows now. A lot of people are bullish on this one, but they're kind of getting their hands caught in the cookie jar. Oats, really nothing going on right now. Frozen concentrate orange juice, really nothing going on this one either. It's not even worth talking about there at all. Platinum here, you could see a lot of people talk about platinum, palladium. Don't know quite why. Reason why is if you look at this is at a major resistance level right now, but this could possibly be a double top forming. If it breaks there, then it's going to go up to about 1800, which is going to hit another resistance, then another one at 1900. So this is not going to start a trend for a big long-term trend, but it can sit there and move in increments of 100, which are pretty much where the resistances are. Support on this one is going to be about 1600, but not quite sure why everyone's talking about it. Doesn't look like a nice long trend for me at all. Gasoline still making its tear upwards. Probably notice that at the pumps right now, but this is continued to go up, and you could see it going up and up and up. So really, if you're not in it, it's too late. If you're in it, keep your stops very tight. If you look at rice here, it bounced off its support right around 15. It made a big move upwards. It's trying to get to its resistance level right around 17. Slowly making a move there, but it had a huge jump up here. The daily definitely needs a pullback. If you're looking to enter this to kind of get to 17, you need a pullback level. Two pullback levels we're looking at is about 15.858 and 15.670. Let's go look at this one. Soybeans. Soybeans really not doing anything right now. You can see this bullish trend up here, pull back here, bounced off a major support roughly around 1400, and the resistance is about 1568, so it's kind of stuck between the two different worlds right now. Sugar here is slowly trickling down. Definitely the one to keep an eye on here. Next support is roughly going to be, I would say, roughly going to be right there around 16.87. So you still got roughly about $2 move to go, but you could see the daily here. It's at a minor support level now, and if it breaks that, it's going to definitely try to make a move down to about 1687. Gold here, if you look at gold here, really not doing anything at all. A lot of people are now starting to go bearish on this. I'm not quite sure why. This thing is not telling you any indication at all which way it's trying to go. This thing's getting tighter and tighter into a consolidation pattern, so something's going to have to break sooner or later. You need to wait for a breakout to occur before you even look at it. Soybean meal, this is basically undergoing a pullback right now. Bounce off a support level of 400. Resistance is going to be about 463 moving forward. 2-year, really not doing anything, just consolidating a nice little tight range on the weekly, as you could see. The 10-year here, really not doing anything either. It's just consolidating in a tight range. So there's nothing going on there. Let's go down. Whoa. Okay. 30-year, nothing really going on. It's at a support level right now. Resistance is going to be about 146, 24.32. Wheat, really nothing going on there. Bearish trend here on the daily, but this is just filling this big wide gap right there. It bounced off a major support level right now, which is roughly about right there at 736. Resistance on this one is going to be at 841. Silver here, really silver's doing nothing at all, so there's nothing really to talk about there. And the next one that we're adding now is copper. If you look at copper, copper is really not doing anything at all. I'm not sure why people are talking about this one, but it's at a resistance level, and you could see here it's at a resistance level here, which is it's trying to get to about there. 3.8260. Support on this one's going to be about 3.657678. So there's nothing really going on this one. It's just a lot of support resistances because this thing's sitting there in a big wide consolidation pattern. And I think that's it. Let's see, I think that was platinum. Yeah, and I think I can't remember palladium. Maybe it's PD. Okay, we'll look it up and we'll start offering that on the next one too. But that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or contact us via email. Have a nice week.